Well, hi, I'm Karen. In this video today, we're just going to be doing something a little different, are we? Maybe just a little. In this video today, I want to talk about when people say life is short. And this recently came up because I got a text message yesterday. Somebody I've known for such a long time. We've been friends for such a long time. And things have taken an interesting turn. And it's not like intentional. It's just my only way of explaining it is this. And if you've been where I'm at, then you would get it. You ever had that feeling like God was nudging you to stop speaking to certain people or just to stop doing something, and there's no reason given, no nothing. That's just it. And you guys could be on like the best of terms ever. And of course you'll want to question God and you'll want to ask like why. But I don't know, I'm just getting to this place where I'm realizing you just have to trust God. And that sounds like such a hard thing to do. Like such a hard thing to do. Because you want to know why. You want to understand why. You want to know the end result. You want to know. And part of trusting God is not worrying about it. Oh, and that sounds so easy to say, but yet it's one of the hardest things to do. So I just kind of wanted to give y'all a background. So I got this text message yesterday talking about one of our friends that we've pretty much known. It's like a mutual friend that we've had. She's more closer to her than I was, but it's a mutual friend that we both had, and she passed away over the weekend. And she sent me a message saying, life's too short, blah, 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 and I get that. But actually, my thought process has been life is too long. Think about how long you've gone to suffer through something, whether you suffered through a bad relationship or you suffered through financial issues. Those don't seem like, oh, life is too short. No, it feels like it is going on for freaking ever. It feels like it's going on nonstop. It hasn't ended. And here it is. When you think you get through it, then you face another obstacle. You get what I'm saying? Like it feels like almost forever. So when people say life is too short, I tend to disagree with them because of the way I view that. Like, those things don't feel short. They feel freaking long. They feel like, when is this going to end? It feels like everything I do feels useless. Well, not once everything, but it feels like majority of my efforts feel useless sometimes. Just kind of just going down the list. Those feelings feel like forever. They don't feel like something temporary and short. So when she sent me that, I was thinking to myself, you know what? I get what she's saying. Life is short due to, you don't know if you'll be here tomorrow. But technically it's long, and the choices that we make affect us long term. I just thought it was just interesting. Like every choice I make from this moment on, or we make from this moment on, we have to be so mindful of it. And it's one thing when you're young, you're probably not even thinking about the full consequence of it. But the older you get, the more you start realizing, yeah, like this time thing is precious. Is it short? No. But should you be mindful with how you use your time, who you spend it with? Yes. I know for some of you may feel like, life is short. And then for some of you may feel like, dang, it's long. It's just that life feels short when you have regrets. But if you think about how long you spent in that, whatever it is that season was, and like just looking back, I'm just glad like I'm not in a lot of the things that I allow myself to endure. I allow myself to be in ungodly relationships. I allow myself to stay in relationships that I could see red flags popping up. And then even then, like I was in relationships where I felt like God was testing my heart and my motives and my words and what I say I was going to do and how I was going to live. I felt like he was showing me like, hey, you said this. Are you going to keep doing what you were doing before, or you're actually going to like step up to the plate? And that's why I felt like my last relationship was like. I felt like it was a test. It was really a test of character. It was a test of you saying you're going to do something and then you do another thing. It really was one hell of a freaking test. And it's not to say that person is horrible, because I feel like we're all like in our own walk. We're all in our own walk, especially the people that we're dating. Maybe sometimes you cross the paths. You can pray for them, not necessarily for you to date them. And now that I've experienced that, it's like my mindset is it's a little bit more in a different place. Like, it's funny, like now I'm meeting people and I'm not even meeting them intentionally. They're just popping up. Now that I'm meeting them, it's like my thought is, okay, why has God had them cross my path? Because it's not, this is my husband. No. Like, why has God allowed them to cross my path? Now I'm like questioning everything. I'm questioning like their motives, the things they say. Like, I'm over analyzing it and really like taking it into consideration. And then of course, the most important part, because you can analyze crap all day long, all you want. The question is, are you sitting there and asking God first, Lord, is this the person for me? And sometimes I'll forget, like, especially this one person I just literally met last week. We're talking about all things about, I don't know, it just came up. Like, we're just talking about God, and here it is. He's talking about God and going in deep. And it's easy to be like, God, is this the person? You know what I mean? Because I'm listening to them thinking in my head, dang, this is the person that God sent for me, without really sitting there and asking God himself, hey, is this the person that you have in store for me? But I don't know. Like, at this point, it's like I'm more so listening to people and analyzing them versus trying to jump to a conclusion and not want to be lonely anymore. And I think that's such an easy trap to fall into. Like, you get so tired of waiting that you will start to accept certain things from the person, whoever it is that shows up, Mr. Right Now, or you know what I mean? Like, it's something just to sit down and slow down and think about it. There's no rush. And I literally had to start reminding myself of this because one of my awesome good friends, he just, sometimes you need a friend to tell you about yourself. And he's just one of those people just keeping it real and just telling, hey, Karen, you need to learn to be patient. And I know that's one of the things I need to work on as a person in general, is I need to learn to be more patient with people. And sometimes I might not be the most patient when it comes to tolerating people's stuff, because I feel like I've gone from one extreme to tolerating a whole lot and not saying nothing and getting seriously burnt from that, to saying stuff and just being just completely rude, to now it's like, okay, I need to balance out the difference from when I need to like just sit down and observe you, and when I actually just need to say something and really just don't care, because I don't have time to be lying, putting up fronts, continually having conversations with you when I honestly just don't feel like talking to you. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm just in this place where I don't want to force anything. And I think we all need to get to this place where, especially as women, and we're still single, just waiting on God, because the heartache and the foolishness you're going to put yourself through is not going to be worth it. I heard this message yesterday. Man, I was like, wow, this is what I need to hear. If God told you he got somebody for you, shut up and sit down. Go do something else. What the Lord said, he says, until I show up, go do something with yourself. Or maybe that's not how he said it, but it was said another way. But it's the gist of it. Occupy yourself until he shows up. Same thing. Occupy yourself until your husband shows up. I'm not putting my life on pause. That's what I learned from this weekend that just passed. I went to this beautiful, beautiful spot, and oh my gosh, I never would have went there any other time. Like, I would have been waiting to go there on a honeymoon. And I'm so glad I did it. I would have been trying to hold off. Oh, let me wait to experience that. No, I needed to go and experience that, so I can know what it feels like when that time does come. Oh my gosh, I have something to be excited about. I know somewhere to go. I can suggest places for other people to go. Experience life. Occupy the space. Occupy your time. Occupy your life right now, where you are and what you can is possible for you. Occupy the space and occupy it fully. That message I heard yesterday was from Marcus Rogers. And I don't even know how old that video was. It had to be almost a year old, 8 to 11 months old, something like that. And But it was right on point. Do stuff with yourself. Pursue whatever it is God has in your heart. Don't get sidetracked and distracted by people who are showing up and you're trying to force it to become something it is not. Anyway, I hope this message reaches whoever it's meant for. It's just a rambling. I'm just sitting here rambling. I did my makeup, sitting here. I'm like, no, let me just do another video. I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you've been single, I don't care if you've been single for 10, 15 years. Stay encouraged. If God told you he got somebody for you, he's going to show up. God is always on time, even though he shows up last minute. He always shows up last minute with something awesome. So he always comes through. And matter of fact, before I go, I'm going to just share this story I've been sharing over the whole weekend, which is the story about Abraham and Sarah, or Abram and Sarai. And I've been reading the book of Jasher, and one of my friends, she put me onto it. And I've been reading it, and it's interesting when you really get the full scope of how long God had been showing up to Abraham to tell him he had a son on the way. He did this for what? At the part that I stopped on, he had been doing it for 25 years. And every so often, God would show up and remind him, you're going to become the father of nations. You're going to have as many children as the stars in the sky. Your generations are going to be, as many as the sands on the seashore. So can you imagine, like every few years, God tells you, you have a child on the way. And first off, he shows up in your 50s. And he keeps showing up. 25 years later, he's still showing up to reassure you with the same message, which is you're going to become the father of many nations. After a while, you're going to be like, look, man, I was expecting it in year 1, year 5, maybe year 8, but year 10, I will start, the doubts. I'm sure the hella doubts were creeping in. Year 15, you're like, yo, what's going on? Really? Like, why you even get my hopes up? Why you keep showing up telling me this? I want to forget about it. Year 20, you're going to be the father of nations. Are you a God that's just like to give me hope and just disappear on me and nothing? Year 25, showing up cheerful, still telling me you're going to become the God of nations. And after a while, I know you've blessed me with this land. And I know you've taken me out of different places. And I think that's the part that we forget. God was taking him from place to place. He took him out of his father's house and took him to a different land. And in that land, there was famine that was going on. There was a whole bunch of other things that was going on. And even down to them going to Egypt because of the famine and trying to find food, and him having to pretend that his wife was his sister to the Egyptian king who took his wife as his own. That's almost like what I gathered. I could be wrong. And all these bad things started happening to the king. And the king like, hold up, what's going on here? What's going on? Like, are you married? Like, what's going on? And she finally fesses up and tells him, look, Abraham is my husband. And he's like, you know what? There's so many bad things happening to me here. I don't want it anymore. I'm going to give you a whole bunch of money, a whole bunch of cattle, a whole bunch of jewelry, gold, whatever. Here, take this and leave my kingdom. That's how God blessed them to become wealthy. I mean, they were already from a wealthy family, but this really just like changed the game. So if you think about all that time, all the things he's had to go through to get to the place that was a good place to bring that child into the world, I think we kind of have to like view life like that. Yes, God may have given you a dream that you're going to get married. He may have shown you who your husband was, or just whispered in your ear or in your heart, hey, I got somebody for you. The thing is, are we even in the place? Have we gone through all the things we needed to go through to be prepared for that person who's coming? And you might be thinking in your heart, yes, I am, but you don't see what God sees. We don't know what else we have to go through to run across that person, what other trials and tribulations we have to go through, whatever kind of blessings we have to wait to receive in order for that person to even show up. Like, we don't know these things. What I'm saying all this to say is God works in his own timing. And what may seem like taking forever or last minute or just in the nick of time, that's just the right time for God to show up. And this is something I have to remind myself about this. And that reading that story has literally just like has reiterated that thought in me. And when I get to share stuff like this with y'all on here or talk to other people about this particular story, something always comes out of it. And it's not always marriage related. It's just something, it just reminds you like God's timing is his own. Wait on the Lord, trust him with all your heart, because you cannot please God without faith. So if you're discouraged, you're lonely, go volunteer. Go give your time to someone. Go spend time with somebody. Go take, maybe you have an old aunt or something. Go take her grocery shopping. Go do something with your time. Clean your house. Make it look beautiful. Take care of yourself. Do something. So you're not so much sitting there focusing on yourself, but you're giving your time to someone else, which will prepare you for the time when somebody shows up so you can give your time to them. There you go. Anyway, that's it for this video. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching. I just hope whoever is meant for, that you hear, you receive it, and you truly take it into consideration. Anyway, thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.